Hello everybody, my name is Dr. Brian Hartman, and this is our introductory video for EDSN 603. I am teaching two sections of this class this spring, 863 and 864. I apologize, I'm not dressed up super fancy in this video. You see I'm wearing a little bit warmer clothing as it is January. And I'm in my basement office, which is nothing too fancy, but it does get the job done. I want to take a quick moment to tell you about myself before I really dive into the class. Like I said, my name is Dr. Brian Irwin. I've been working with Toro since 2017. I have taught this course about 10 or 11 times now. I'm very experienced at teaching this course. I've taught it sometimes I've taught it once a semester, sometimes I've taught it twice a semester. I've also taught it every summer since 2017. So I've got quite a bit of experience, and I know how to help students be successful in this course, whether they're experienced teachers, new teachers, career changers, whatever the situation. I've got quite a bit of experience helping students be successful. So a little bit about me. I did spend 15 years working in the public school system in Houston, Texas. So a very large, urban setting. I know most of the students in this class are taking class in New York. I know that Houston and New York are certainly not the same city, but the urban setting, some of those things, some of those challenges that can present definitely translate. Some of those economic challenges that our students might face translate, most certainly. I definitely spent a lot of time working in schools that were a high, either a majority minority schools. Most of the schools I worked in were majority Hispanic schools, but I did spend a few years working in schools where the population was majority African American. I did spend time working at the high school level as well as the elementary school level. I worked in special education, bilingual education, as a technology support staff member. So I do have a lot of experience I believe will help translate into everybody's experience here. So let's talk a little bit, just that's what that means, talk a little bit about the class. Now we always want to focus on the quick overview as well as what you need to know to help you be successful, because that's what this is about. Obviously I want you to learn. I want you to learn as much as you can. I want you to come with lots of skills and tools and help you and your students be successful as possible. But we can't do that if you don't pass the class. And New York standards, in order for this course to count for you, you need at least a B minus. So I would do better than a B minus, but that is the minimum that we want you to get. So on top of what you need to do to make sure that happens. The one thing I will do, I'll mention first, and I've been making this video. I make it new every semester, so I always add and take away a little bit. For the most part, most students tend to do. You take my advice, do what they need to do to be successful. There's always a few who say, "Well, I'm going to do it my way. I'm not necessarily going to listen," and they tend to struggle. It's not because I'm so smart or so great. It's because I've been doing this for a long time now. I know what you need to do to be successful. That's the biggest thing. Now, first, and this video is going to be right here, and all other videos are going to be in the announcements section. So, and this is where this video will be going on. So every week, you're going to want to start here, go to the announcement section, seeing what's going on, seeing what we need to do. Now, for the most part, you can always go into your modules. There we go. This is just going a little bit slow today, but you'll have your overview, your learning activities, materials. The first thing you do, module 1, you do is an easy baseline survey. The 4 easiest points you get in the whole class. You have those 5 questions to answer, just in a little Word document. Submit the Word document. It helps me kind of get to know you a little bit. Answer those 5 questions. Let me jump back. Now, in module 1, you have 2 readings. All right, one of the readings is from the required text that you need to purchase for the course, and one is from the has been linked so that you can just go in there, get the PDF, and read. Now, I will mention, we posted this in the emails that you received. I know that sometimes getting the books on time for the first week can be a challenge. I know that one of my courses this semester loaded a little bit late, and that's nobody's fault. So if you cannot get that first reading for this module 1 in the discussion board, that's fine. You can work around it. I'm not going to hold that against you. But for week 2, or I should say module 2, and I will say, sometimes I say week, sometimes I say module. They're the same thing. Don't worry about that. That's me. Whether I say week 1 or module 1, week 2, module 2, same thing. So for module 2, you will need those texts. So please get on there, get to Amazon or wherever as quick as possible. If you want a paperback version or if you want a digital version, whatever works to get you the information as quickly as possible. So you want to do, for module 1, you do the baseline survey, do your readings, you need to do the discussion board, and then you need to submit your module 1 to turn in. To turn it in, that's the plagiarism checker, and then you will just right there, submit the baseline survey. It's a Word document, half a page, very straightforward. Now, the biggest thing I'm going to take the rest of my time out, and from this, I try to always make this first video about 10 to 12 minutes, and right now I'm about almost to the 6-minute mark. So I'm going to take the next 5 to 6 minutes to talk specifically about the discussion modules, the discussion boards for every module, because you have one, module 1 through module 12. So they do make up kind of the biggest chunk of your grade. So it's important that you understand the rubric, how they're graded, what you need to do to be successful. Make sure so that if you do that, you're going to be in good shape. I said this is where a lot of people, they tend to fall down. They don't do what I'm asking them to do. They don't do the roaches that the rubric is asking them to do, and I go by the rubric. It's the only fair way for me to do it. If I stick with the rubric, everybody gets the same chance to be successful. So I don't grade one person one way and grade another person somebody else. I go everything by the discussion boards and their rubrics. So let's take a look at the module 1. Now, before we get into the rubrics, I'll click in a second. I want to talk about there's generally 2 questions, sometimes there's 3. The first question, now module 1 is a little more getting to know you, but so maybe I'm going to jump actually to a different module, and I want to show you kind of the difference between question 1 versus question 2. So I'm going to go here to module 7. And this one does have a 3 question, but that's okay. The first question tends to be very specific to the readings. So here, question 1, how are the next generation science standards different from prior science standards? Well, that's in the reading. So question 1 tends to focus on, did you do the reading? Can you prove to me that you did what you needed to do? Did you read what you're supposed to read? Whereas question 2, and if there's a question 3 is more about you as the teacher. Now, I know that some people in this classroom are not teachers yet, and that's fine. You can still project. You can think back to when you were a student, think about any of your college courses. If you're a parent and want to think about what you've seen in your students, your children's classroom as students, whatever works. I'm not going to, the whole thing is if you're not currently a practicing teacher, that's not the issue. So the first question again, did you do the readings? The other questions are more, how would you do it? So this one's more theoretical and these are practical. Like this one, describe a collaborative approach to teaching science. I don't want to see a definition of collaboration, and if you want to teach science collaboratively, you need to make sure that you do these things. No, you say, when I am teaching science and I'm being collaborative, this is what I will do. Or if you're a teacher, this is what I have done in the past. Or this may be what sometimes I think I will do in the future. It needs to be about you. Okay? And so I'm going to click here. I'm going to take a look at the rubric. And the rubric is the same for all 12 discussion modules. I'm going to scroll down so you can see. The first, and there's 7 sections, each one is 3 points. 21 points per discussion board. The first one, discussion participation and timeliness. So if you want the 3 points, it says over the course of a session, which is normally 1 week, can it participate in the discussion at least 3 different days? Why Tor has said this way is we don't want you to go in, post your initial post, do 3 responses, and never look back. But I don't know why my screen keeps jumping. I apologize. The point of doing it 3 different days is that you go in, you read the responses that people have given to you, you engage in like conversation and learn from each other. That's the rationale behind that. So 3 different days. Next, initial post timeliness. Again, I apologize. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Try to scroll down a little bit further. The initial, for the full points, initial post is posted within the first 1 to 2 days from session start. That is done so that, again, I'm not sure why it's doing that, but we'll just deal with it. You need it with the first 1 to 2 days so that people have time to respond to yours, because you have to do 3 responses. So you need time, days in the week, to respond. So every module starts on Monday. So by Tuesday at midnight, you need to have your first post up so that people have the rest of the week to go in and respond, ask questions, And we'll talk about that in a second. Initial post quality. So you need to read through this real quick. If I click here and highlight, it'll stay better. Right here, this is what you need to get the 3 points. Read that in blue. I'm going to go kind of quick because my screen keeps jumping on me. Questions posed. I'm going to talk about this for a second. You need to ask your classmates 3 original insightful questions, and you see right here it says based upon course text and discussion content. So I'm going to scroll back up because I'm just going to jump anyway. I need to talk to you about this real quick. 3 questions. These are, it says thoughtful, original questions. That does not mean how are you today? It does not mean write the question. Thoughts doesn't work. It has to be, now a couple of things you need to listen carefully. Your 3 questions do not underline, bold, exclamation point, do not go at the end of your initial post. If you just ask 3 questions at the end of your post, that doesn't count. You'll get 0 points. Your questions go at the end or in response to your classmates' posts, because that's how you learn from each other. That's how you get conversations going. And that's how I know that you're actually reading your classmates' posts and not just putting a bunch of gibberish. So again, if you want those points, you ask questions based upon your classmates' initial post, so it goes in your responses. And I will hold you accountable to that starting in Module 1. So please make sure you handle that. So I'm going to go back down here. Response quality, real quick, if you want the 3, is this part right here. Can it offers at least 1 additional relevant text or website. So that means you go to your classmates and post, you read what they wrote, and you find something that helps them out, that enhances the conversation. If they mention something they're weak at, you find something that's going to help them out. All right, and then I apologize, it keeps jumping. I'm so sorry. Connections, read that. Talk about yourself as a student learner, right? In 3 different posts. And the last one is grammar. Again, I'm so sorry that my screen keeps jumping. You guys can read that. You need to read that very carefully to make sure that you understand how to be successful on these discussion boards. As I'm at the 12-minute mark, so I'm going to stop this video. I will review some of this stuff in the week 2 video that I'll post and kind of go back over these things. So again, thank you so much for being here in this course. I hope this helped. I hope I went very deep on the discussion board rubric on purpose because that is a huge chunk of your grade. Again, I'm looking forward to working on it this semester. I think we're going to have a great semester. We're going to be very successful, especially if you take this advice I've given you. And I will expand on this and talk about other things in week 2. Thank you again for being with me, and I will see you online.